Ms. Bhavna Somaya ji, our esteemed film journalist and film critic. दोस्तों एक बार जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत कीजिए भावना सोमाया जी का. Mr. Sohaib Godis, the actor and producer of Fever Dream. He's right there actually taking pictures of such amazing films and then selecting these films for screening.
Yes, mic on.
सबसे पहले तो मैं कहूँगी कि आई एम एक्सट्रीमली हैप्पी टू बी इन दिस fabulous legendary venue of NFDC and the backdrop of this fabulous mahal, and it's my honor to be a part of Saudi Film Festival, and I'm very privileged because Mohammad Morani chose me of Cineyug, because I look for opportunities that is going to enhance my experience, and I started looking at the Saudi films without any preconceived notions, and I must say that I was totally surprised. It is a revelation, very path-breaking, technically very sound, and every film had a new content and a new message to offer, which was very enriching.
Lovely. Mr. Sohaib, you are the actor and producer of the film Fever Dream. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what your film is all about and what we should be expecting as audiences?
Thanks everyone for being here, and we're really happy to be hosted in such a lovely country. And regarding Fever Dream, it's actually in the name, which is Fever Dream. It just discusses how social media interfered our life and even interfered within the houses and within the family. So we take it from a perspective of a broken relationship between a father and a daughter, and you can see that social media could fix this, but throughout the journey we unveil everything.
It's very coming of age kind of a film, which is very, very now. Ms. Ran, how about your film? It's the short film The Edge.
Yeah, first of all, very happy to be here. I love India, definitely coming back again. It's
Lovely.
really such an honor. So for The Edge, it's a short film about a breakdown of a marriage. It kind of has an open ending, it's up to interpretation. But what I find very beautiful about it is that it's really a universal story. I think anyone from any culture, anyone who's been in any sort of romantic relationship can identify with it. And it was just such a wonderful experience.
Because I guess emotions are all universal. We all feel and experience the same emotions. So automatically anybody who has had a romantic relationship, which I'm sure everybody here at some point in their life, so they will definitely identify with this film, you feel.
I think so, 100%. Even though personally as an actress, I didn't identify with my character. Of course, I found ways to connect with her because, you know, I'm playing her. But yeah, it's just such a wonderful experience, and I was really lucky to have an amazing co-star, an amazing director who really gave us the space and room to express ourselves.
Well, that is very, very important.
Very patient. It was such a wonderful experience. I think it might have been one of my favorite acting experiences so far.
Well, that is lovely. And now we have the room open for the press. Anyone would like to ask them any questions?
I'd like to ask Bhavna ji, you have been a jury, a journalist, a veteran one and an author for so many years. What was so interesting about Saudi films, especially since we don't even know how the market has been since it's opened up?
So very early in my career, I did a film appreciation course in the FTII, where we were exposed to the world cinema, whether it was Europe or German or whatever. And I got very fascinated with different cultures and ethos. And even now, though we are watching all regional films and Hindi films and English films, it came as a refreshing thought that Saudi Films was hosting a festival and that one could get exposed to it. I was attracted to the ethos, to the culture, to what is their traditions, what are the equations with society and within the family. But eventually
I've been hearing that the industry is expanding every year and better films, and recently they have started screening Saudi films across the whole world, and they're screening in 2 countries, and India is the 3rd country that the screening has happened.
Oh wow.
They're looking for an agency who would do this.
And who better than Dome?
Exactly.
Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Sarah came on Zoom and she did a real tough interview. And then she realized that yes, we are the best agency to pull this off. And here we are doing it for you. Thank you so much for having us, Sarah, Cinewave, Saudi Film Council and all the talent here. Thank you so much. And there's the jury, one more jury here, Farhad. Farhad, I'd like to just introduce you to
Mr.
the
Farhad
other jury, who has worked very hard with Bhavna ji to put all the films together.
Sir, middle.
just give a chair.
Sir, center.
With our choices.
I'm so sure because like I said कि आपको impress करना आपकी body of work के बाद is definitely a feat. So आपने जिस film को चुना होगा, so definitely that has to be very, very amazing. We can't wait to watch the films that the jury members have selected for us. So Sohaib, tell us how's your experience been in India? Is this your very first time?
Yes, this is my very first time, and definitely it's not going to be the last one. Yesterday I was like roaming the city, and I was fascinated because even though you have some assumptions about or how would the city be like, and because all that I know from India is what we saw in Bollywood films. So and it was really fascinating coming to the city and seeing sightseeing and roam around the city.
So Rand, tell us, have you been acting for a very, very long time, or is this your very first time? And have you seen any of the Bollywood films earlier?
So I've been acting for around 2 years. So it's not very long. I've done a couple of shorts, a few TV shows. The Edge was probably one of my favorite performances. I was actually just looking at the list and another one of my films was shortlisted, and I'm really happy that this one was the one that was chosen.
That is amazing.
So it's very exciting. And sorry, what was the second part?
Have you ever seen any Bollywood films?
Yes. So I don't want to pronounce it. The one Kabhi Kuchi.
Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I grew up watching that movie.
Oh, really?
And yes.
How can someone not like Shah Rukh Khan?
I love Kareena Kapoor. I think Kareena Kapoor is beautiful.
Oh, she is.
She's amazing. And there is one movie that I watched that I don't think is very successful. Or was it very successful? It was Teri Meri Kahani with Shahid Kapoor.
Okay, yes.
I thought he was a beautiful man. I still think he's a beautiful man. There are a lot of amazing Bollywood movies. Yeah, off the top of my head.
Do you want to act in one?
If I could speak the language, I would love to. Actually, when I was going through passports, the guy was asking me, "What are you doing here?" And I told him for a film festival. And he told me, learn the language and come to India and come work. So maybe one day, who knows?
Inshallah.
Fahadji, how did you feel?
Well, the whole experience was something very, very overwhelming, and I would just like to add, I've just come into the scene, so I've seen these films, and Bhavna ji ne ek cheez bahut sahi kahi. She has told one thing very perfectly, is that this is the perfect platform to get globally connected. That's very important, because I don't think so language is a barrier. It's your performance. It's like, I'm also into music, so I can tell you that music also has no language. And I think so even films and film media, whether it's a short film or today the global connection is so much that whenever we see our films, even on the OTT digital platforms, you get to see Korean films, you get to see Chinese, you get to see all kinds of different languages, and I think so language is definitely not a barrier. I'm a Hindi writer, so I'll just give a Hindi line to this, that हुनर सब में होता है, किसी में छप जाता है, किसी में छुप जाता है. So it's
वाह क्या बात है.
so it's just a perfect platform you should get to get your एक जरिया बोलते हैं ना, एक समंदर, एक दरिया, one जरिया. That's very important, and I think so. अगर जरिया मिल जाता है to showcase your talent, and this is the platform we should motivate and encourage. That's it.
That is absolutely lovely. So how difficult was it for you to screen all these films and then select these three?
Well, I got a little bit of shouting from my wife regarding this, because there was a little short time, थोड़ा कम था, and I had to go through all the films. And मेरी एक problem है कि if some job has been given to me, so definitely I have to be very sure that whatever marks I am giving or whatever, we have to be very clear, because that so much मेहनत has been gone.
ये problem का है तो अच्छी बात है सर.
नहीं, but problem ये है कि मुझे I dedicate too much on जो काम मिला है, so that's the only thing which is.
तो इसमें आपने कुछ ज्यादा ही टाइम बता दिया, आपने फैमिली को टाइम नहीं दिया, इसलिए आपको डांट पड़ी बीवी से.
नहीं, because see, I'm a creative writer, so I get involved even in the creation. When I see the film, I just see the way how they've used the screenplay, how they have told the story, because कहानी का क्या है, story can be told in 10 different ways.
Right.
That way is very important.
Their heart. So, you know, for a film like that, when they have to go through so many films and to select your films out of those so many, so I think definitely I am looking forward to watching your films and how it has impacted Bhavna ji, and we really can't wait to see what these films are all about.
I totally agree, because even for me, watching either Hollywood or Bollywood or even any international films, it's just, we didn't have cinema back then, but we understand that language. We understand everything, because it's all about being a human.
So when you were making your film, could you tell us something about the filmmaking experience and what made you choose this subject particularly?
Fever Dream was our second feature film after a successful one which was called The Book of Sun, and it was a comedy film, and before Fever Dream we saw that this opportunity, or a huge opportunity, especially within the changes that's been happening in the world, especially for the social media, how it changes even the human behavior. This is where we thought we want to make this film, and the film sheds the light on so many aspects. Not only that, even it sheds the light about the fame and how it even affects the person, and even the fame before, because like before the 90s, for example, being a soccer player is totally different than being a soccer player nowadays. It just changed the whole dynamic, and this is why we wanted to tackle this in a very nice way, and how it affects a major I don't know what you call it, major deeds or major human behavior and it reflects to the whole world. And one of the things was about the Book of Sun. When we did that film, we made it honestly only for the Saudis, but when we played it on the OTT, which was on Netflix, we saw that people from outside Saudi Arabia appreciated that. So when we made Fever Dream, we were considering that international audience might watch that. So that was one of the things that we carefully did it while even writing.
Oh, so you definitely took into account the international audience along with the
script, and I loved it the moment that I read it. And I thought it was a great opportunity for me to do something that's very dramatic, and it was very exciting. But once I went to the rehearsals, I realized his vision for Hanian, which is the character's name, was very different from my personality. But I was able, obviously, to get into that role and make it real, because every character that I do, sometimes it gets a bit blurry. I don't know where I end and the other character begins.
So what was your process for this particular character?
So it's actually really funny. I was reading this book called Western Mind, Eastern Body, And one of the most interesting things about it is it tells you with the chakra system how different imbalances cause different bodily postures, different personality traits that you would see depending on what is imbalanced. And so I took that book, looked at the character, and built it on that. And
Wow,
then
that's pretty extensive, I would say.
I was reading the book before I got the role, honestly, so I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to just add everything together. And I think I would identify as a method actor, so I definitely did use my own emotions. And it was really nice because me and my co-star got to know each other on a personal level and really talked about our own personal experiences, which helped make the performance quite believable.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. This question is for both of you, Sohaib and Ran. So, when now your film is being featured here, we're playing your films, what is that particular emotion that you feel that you would connect with the Indian audience as well, along with the Arabic audience, that has worked in your favor? So, which is that particular emotion that you feel is very, very integral part of your film?
I think as I said, which is how social media affects the behavior and even some morality of being a human being, and looking back at some essence in life, that how it's changing through time. I think that part is an international.
It's universal all over.
It is. The relationship between the father and the daughter, it's just something that is worldwide, is the same, despite the differences in cultures, despite the differences even in environment and the language, but it's still the same relationship.
Rand, what about your film? Where do you feel that it might identify with the Indian audience as well, along with the romance bit that you mentioned, but what is that one particular emotion that you feel will be just, that bullseye?
Grief.
Grief,
I think it was a lot about grief.
Should we keep a lot of tissue papers ready while watching a film?
I don't know. It's a short film, so it's quite short, but I think grief was the main emotional process, because I guess grief is multiple emotions, and you get to explore all of them throughout the film in a very short amount of time.
I'd like to ask Mazhar Bhai one question. Can I please have Mr. Mazhar Nadiadwala here?
Can we please have Mr. Mazhar Nadiadwala here, please? From Dome.
Various platforms that we can, we can explore, and we can exchange our cultures. We can exchange our, the good opportunities that we can share with each other and help our industry grow more and more. I wish the council the very best, and I think this association will go a long way.
Yeah, we were going to ask that, do you see this more of the Saudi films and the film industry coming to Mumbai and showcasing their films?
See, our cultures are pretty similar. Our values of our culture are very similar, and I think that's where we can really, the association can grow faster, and our association can, have more meaning into it, because the cultures are so close. The entertainment and everything else will also only facilitate that, and I think I see a lot of future in it. Thank you.
So we'll be troubling Bhavna ji and Farhad ji a lot more. Also me.
Mansi, you're an actress, you're a singer, so we want to know how you feel.
Thank you so much.
So you got a chance to only watch Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum?
Oh.
No, I've watched at least over a dozen movies.
Oh, you have? Okay.
But I can't remember all of them. Like, I remember Three Idiots was great.
Right. And Kareena Kapoor was in that as well. So that's why you love her.
I love her. I love her so much. She's so beautiful.
Oh, she is, isn't she? All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and our wonderful press.
Thank you.
We will see you inside in the screening of our film.
Yes, all of this camera, yes. Yes, some close, yes. Right side देखिए थोड़ा. Center. Wow, क्या बात है. हाँ? चलो. अरे ये भी तो रेड कार्पेट है.
I'm really looking forward to it because we do have a lot of similarities, even culturally, and hopefully, inshallah, we will see Saudi/Indian works in the near future.
Okay. We would like to know how does the Saudi film industry has been evolved in the recent years.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
We would like to know how the Saudi film industry has been evolved in the recent years.
Yeah, so the Saudi film industry started maybe like 2019. Even the amount of feature films that's been produced, it's getting increased like double. You know, like 2019 there was like 1 or 2 feature films. The next year it was like 4 or 5. You know, and it's getting better and better. And even there are stories that's being told, which really nice, and I think it has the aspect of acceptance globally.
Thank you.
She's asking. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, how do you see Saudi and Indian cinemas collaborating in the future?
Well, I think we have a lot to learn from Bollywood. And I was just saying this to someone else that, you have a 100-year history and we're relatively new in Saudi Arabia. So I think that beyond the student-teacher relationship, I think we can have joint stories because, the Indian population is a big part of Saudi Arabian culture and the tourism here is increasing. So, and I think the films will reflect that sense of community that we're fostering.
About the culture exchange helps in strengthening the global storytelling.
Well, I think that cinema and any sort of cultural exchange is kind of grassroots diplomacy. And so I think that this cultural exchange will help us create a sense of unity, but also foster more understanding about the particularities of both our different cultures.
Hi.
One solo?
Yeah, one minute.
One solo.
Solo.
Need one.
Single.
This camera? Hold. अभी मिला नहीं है। कहाँ देखने क्या कर रहे हो? मैं मिला नहीं। यहाँ देख लीजिए।
First of all, thank you all for being here. And regarding the film, it's basically, as I mentioned before, it's from the surface, it's all about how social media affected the human behavior. However, for the viewer, and I wish to talk to everyone here, is that how the person who watches the film projects himself to the film, and how he feels like connecting to which character. And the beauty of the film, to me, was the story, where everyone can relate to this, either from the side of Samadou, the player, who lost his fame, and then he tries to and he lost his marriage as well, and he tries just not to lose his daughter. Or maybe you can see and project yourself from the daughter's perspective, where all that she needed was her father, but he wasn't around. And basically a lot of stuff that you can actually see from the sheikh, from the it's like the pyramid of life, and you can actually see the more we go higher, the complicated it gets. And to me, this is what was really intriguing for me for making Fever.
I absolutely agree with you, because for me, like you said, as an audience, I am seeing that how much the outer media and the outer world has invaded my life. There is so much of cacophony and noise that I was, after a point in the film, looking for some kind of solitude. Rand, I think there is a third mic there. You told me that the character has nothing in common with you. So it was a difficult exercise for you to get into that character that you played in the short film, The Edge. Why did you say that? How do you feel it deals with the situation?
I think it's more of the way that she deals with the situation. There's a bit of like the character is a bit passive in a way. Even when she is confrontational to her husband, everything is really drawn out. Whereas I think that if it were to end in that situation, I would have been on the attack more so than on the defense. But of course, even though the character is different in some ways and the context of her life is different, I think the emotions that I felt were quite real. And earlier I said that I think grief is the best way to describe the short film. And so, you know, the entire film, you know, you see denial with her cooking, and you see anger with the fighting, you see the bargaining. The entire context of the film comes in the stage of bargaining, of grief. And the depression is just evidenced through the sadness that she feels. And that's why I think the film also is quite powerful. I would like to know what you think the ending is, personally, because to me, I would like to hear what you think happens after the film ends, before I continue. Yeah, I think it's just more contextual aspects of the character that I think are different.
See, the thing about the open-ended films is that you interpret it according to what is happening in your life at that moment. So if you